Watch this powerful video by God's servant Apostle Michael Orokpo, and God will bless you mightily. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. God bless you.
There are three things that makes our existence count. That you are born does not mean you will be relevant, especially in the agenda of God. Not everybody who walked through this earth will be relevant in eternity. For your life to count in the realm of God, there are three things that are a must. Number one is the knowledge of God. Experiential knowledge of God. Jesus was speaking, John 17 verse 3. He said, this is life eternal, that you may know him, the only true God, and Jesus Christ whom he has sent. So anybody who does not know God, as far as God is concerned, he may be breathing, he's not alive. There are many dead men walking. For you to be considered a living creature in the realm of God, he said you must have an experience of God. Now, when we talk about knowing God, we are not saying knowing about God. No, we are saying you must have a one-on-one experience of God. First John 1 from verse 1. That which was from the beginning, which we heard, which we saw, which we looked upon, and our hands handled of the word of life. So you must come to a point where Jesus was not a message that was preached to you. You must come to a point where Jesus is not a story that was told you. The message is important, but you must come to a point where Jesus is a personality that you have encountered for yourself. He said when you get there, your life will begin to count. And the reason is because every experience of God we have produces something. This is why the word used for knowledge in John 17 verse 3 is the word ginosko. Is a kind of experience that produces result. The same way a man and a woman meet themselves and a child is born. The children you give birth to in the spirit are the things that make you relevant in time. So there are many people who are walking on earth barren, so they have no relevance in God's agenda. For you to be relevant on this side of the divide, you must have had a form of intercourse, an encounter with God that would have bettered something for humanity. This is the first thing that makes you relevant. The second thing that makes you relevant is worship of God. And I told you yesterday, worship is not a song. You can worship through singing, but worship is a state of adoration that results not just in praising God, results in obeying God to the degree that you submit your will for his own will. The first time the word worship was used in scripture was in Genesis 22 verse 5. Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac, and he said, I'm going up with a young lad that we may worship God. Nobody was singing there. A man who loved God was submitting to God's will, even at the expense of giving up the child that he waited for 25 years. When Jesus was in Gethsemane and he said, not my will but thine, that was the greatest service of worship on earth, that he substituted his will for the will of God. The degree to which you worship God is what gives you relevance in eternity. This is why till this hour in the throne room, the only creatures that have proximity to the throne are worshippers. From the 4 beasts to the 24 elders, the Bible said day and night without ceasing they worship forever and ever, saying holy, holy, holy is the Lord. So anybody who does not have worship as a part of his or her life, his existence may not count much. The people God is seeking are called worshippers. John 4 verse 23 and 24, he said the Father is seeking for those who will worship him in spirit and in truth. So we must all come to a place where through the revelation of God we have, our life becomes a river of adoration to God, and we submit our will to God's will at all times. Whatever he desires becomes our desires. Whatever he chooses becomes our destiny. We didn't come here to be creative. We came here to be obedient, because before we were formed in our mother's womb, our ordinations were written. This is the act of worship in the realm of God. Number 3, I say what makes your existence count is the degree to which you participate in the thy kingdom come agenda. God has an agenda on the face of the earth. He wants to extend his government from the spirit realm to the natural realm. Matthew 6 verse 10, when you pray, he said, pray after this kind: our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. That's worship. Then thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. To what degree your life is spent in advancing God's agenda is the degree to which your existence counts. The Bible said a man's life does not constitute in the multitude of his possession. We came here to enforce God's government on the face of the earth. And I said, as important as this is, You can't achieve it except as there is an authority on your life called dominion. This is why when God created the first man, he wanted him to extend his supernatural, invincible government to the natural and visible realm. But God knew that wouldn't be possible except that man has dominion. So in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, after the man was created and put in the garden, the Bible said, and God blessed them and said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue the earth, and have dominion. You can't extend God's agenda and God's government without authority. This is why dominion becomes very important. And I said we must understand what dominion is. So I gave us 5 definitions of what dominion is. I said number 1 is the authority to exercise governance. So when God created us, he bestowed upon us the capacity to exercise governance over specific jurisdictions. And every one of us who is here, whose life is worthwhile, there is a sphere where you exercise governance. There is a sphere where you insist on the will of God to be done. For some of us, it's as small as our families. That's a good place to start. For some of us, it's within the cycle of our friends. For some of us, it's in the institutions where we find ourselves. For some of us, it's in the nation where we are domiciled. And for some of us, it's over our generation. When we talk, it affects the generation. That is dominion, is authority. You don't do those things by wishing. You do those things because there's something on your life. When you speak and your generation hear, it's not because you're an eloquent speaker. It's because there is a law in the spirit. This is my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. Men don't submit to your authority. Systems don't submit to your authority except as there is a power bestowed upon you to execute governance. And you will leave here from this conference realizing that that dimension has come upon your life. I said dominion number 2 is the power to exercise relevance and influence. When you are alive and your life does not affect anybody positively, you are as good as dead. Everybody walking on the face of the earth, one way or the other, must inspire somebody positively. It's a power God has given to us, and God expects us to grow that power until it affects the whole earth. If you study Psalm 72 verse 8, the Bible said that dominion is from sea to sea, from coast to coast. So you are expected to build influence. See, if we don't do this, our world will be overrun by darkness. You go check some of the secular musicians when they come to your country. People pay for tickets. Yes, stadiums are packed. You think that's a joke? They are influencing the souls of the next generation negatively. This is why you don't know how, but immorality has become part of our culture. You are wondering, which school teaches immorality? It doesn't need to teach. There are people who carry demonic influences that when you come under their radar, it becomes natural to your soul. And so the devil keeps empowering them, and they keep growing those influences, and they become the unconstituted lecturers over generations. So you don't know why somebody suddenly can pray, because there is an atmosphere that has been created that has choked the soul of that person. See, when we come, one of the things we do is that we dispel atmospheres. We establish new paradigms so that men come under a new cloud of glory. You can't do that except as you have dominion. It's called influence, the power to inspire a generation positively. I said number 3, dominion is the power to prevail over contrary circumstances. When a man has dominion, he's not afraid of the attack of Satan. Throw your best shot, I will stand here. He said when the devil comes in, he said the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against them. Isaiah 54 verse 15, he said surely they shall gather. He said but it shall not be by me. And he said everyone that gathers against you will fall for your sake. In verse 17, he said every tongue that rises against you in judgment thou shalt condemn. So when we speak of dominion, we are talking about the power to shut down demonic operations. This is why you can't tolerate any demonic activity in your family. No, people can't just wake up and become sick. People can't reach marriageable age and they are stagnated. People can't study from the university and they don't go forward. Death can't just come in. When you see anything that resembles the finger of Satan, then you rise up to your dominion mandate. And this is where the horn of prayer comes in. The Bible said when you see a mountain, don't cry to God. I've put something on your life. He says, say to that mountain, be thou removed, be thou cast away. He says, if you don't doubt in your heart, you will have it. That's dominion at work. We have power to prevail. And then number 4, I said dominion is rest. And I said rest is not relaxation. I said rest is authority to change situations. When Jesus came to the tomb of Lazarus, it looked as if the situation was hopeless. And then suddenly he shouted with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And the Bible says he that was dead came back to life. That's dominion. It's a state of rest. See, when things go wrong around men who have dominion, they are not perturbed. They know somewhere, somehow, they will change it. It can be through wisdom, it can be through influence, it can be through spiritual power, but they know it can't end like that. They know it must end in praise. When you reach that level, you are a creature of dominion. And I said, finally, dominion is to function in the glorified realm of life. Because we're not called to live like men of men. We were called to live as men of God. And man of God is not a title. Man of God means you come from God. Man of God means you carry God's DNA. Man of God means you are running God's errand. So you come from God, you carry God's DNA, and you are running God's errand. That's what makes you a man of God. And you cannot operate like that if you are not in the God class, because only those in the God class can run God's errand. This is why when man was created, he was created to live in glory. If you read Romans chapter 3 verse 23, it says, for all have sinned and falling short of the glory of God. So we were created to live in glory. Otherwise, how can we serve and represent God? Can a goat represent you? It doesn't have the capacity. Any being that can represent you must be able to function at the realm of your intellect. It must be able to operate in your class. That's why even those of us who have pet dogs, those dogs can't represent us. You can't send your dog to your office and say, represent me. The most intelligent one. You can't send your dog to the market and say, go there and be selling in the shop. You love the dog, but it can't represent you. For that dog to represent you, it must be elevated to your class. The moment God ordained us to represent him, he brought us into his class. And when Satan saw it, he couldn't take it, because this was the lamentation in the spirit. Psalm 8 verse 4, what is man that thou art mindful of him, or the son of man that thou did visit him? You made him a little lower than the Elohim. The word angel there is Elohim. You crowned him with glory and honor. You gave him dominion, and you put the works of your hand under him. You can't represent God without glory. When man fell, he fell from glory. John 17:22, when Jesus showed up, he said, the glory you gave me, I have given to them, that they may be one as we are one. So we share in the glory of Christ. We operate in the same class as Christ. This is why in Romans 8:17, he said we are joint heirs with Christ. What God gave Christ, he shared with us, so that when he goes, we can continue from where he stopped. And John 14 verse 12 said, the works that I do, he said, you shall do also. So if Jesus raised the dead, we will raise the dead also. If Jesus walked on water, we will walk on water also. If Jesus multiplied bread, we will multiply bread also. If Jesus preached and thousands were saved, we will preach, thousands will be saved. If Jesus opened blind eyes, we will open blind eyes. If Jesus caused the deaf to speak, we will cause the deaf to speak. If Jesus spoke and tumors disappear, when we speak, tumors will disappear. Because Luke 10:16 says, when they hear you, they hear me. There must be a consciousness and mindset shift. Most of you think you are just ordinary Kenyans that are at the mercy of the government. I came to tell you, no. Your life is bigger than what the government thinks. In fact, you are the one sustaining the government, because the government shall be upon his shoulder. The government don't sustain you, you sustain the government. It says you are the light of the world. A city set upon the hill that cannot be hid. It says you are the salt of the earth. Listen, the day we live here, earth will collapse. The earth is still here because we are still here. The moment that trumpet blasts and we are carried away, no government will remain. The whole earth will fall into chaos and pandemonium. We are the sustainers of the earth, but we can't do that except as we know that we carry God's glory. I was sharing with them in the morning. I told them the first time God had a container that could contain him was when he created man. He said the heaven is his throne. He said the earth is his footstool. So where is the house that you have prepared for me? There was nothing that could contain God. But when Jesus came in the likeness of a man, the Father said it pleased the Father Colossians 2 verse 9, that in him should the fullness of the Godhead dwell. And in Colossians 1:26, it says Christ in you is the hope of glory. So Jesus carries the full Godhead, then you carry Christ. So for the first time, the fullness of God lives in you. So when they ask you, who are you? You are God's embassy. You are God's address. You are God's container. You are God's dwelling place. How can God's dwelling place be stranded? How can God's dwelling place be sick? How can God's dwelling place be demonized? Anything that wants to touch you will touch God first, because the Bible said him that is joined to the Lord is one spirit with him. This is why some of us stopped praying some prayers many years ago. Somebody came to me, gave an accurate prophetic word. He said, please don't go to the village. He said, they want to kill you. I said, what? Is it armed robbers? He said, no. Who are they? He said, some of those elders, they want to carry your name to a shrine. I said, me? Don't you know I'm a shrine? Whose spirit is in that shrine? Check that spirit and check the one in me. The Bible says God is the father of all spirits. Whichever spirit that is in that shrine bows to the one that is in me. So if you take my name to that shrine, if that person is wise, he will say, don't call that name again, go back. And if they make the mistake to call, what will appear there? It may be thunder, it may be lightning. If they return, then God was merciful. Who told you? We don't pray. If you tell me you carry my name somewhere, go and come back. I'm here. I'm God's stronghold. You don't get it? I'm the house of God. All of God's security apparatus, all of God's security infrastructure, they dwell here. They dwell here because the treasures of divinity are inside of me. I am the most defended entity on this planet. Demons know me, sir. They know me. And I'm not bluffing. I travel from nation to nation. Every day I roar and they run away. They can't stand. Because when I shout, they hear the voice of God. Somebody wants to pray in the Holy Ghost for 1 minute. The power of God is touching someone already. Come on, come on. Marotia, Fakapatea, Zakata, Rakavino, Ragapate. They say you are just a girl. They say you are just a boy. They misunderstood you. An ancient spirit is inside you. You are as old as that spirit. You function by his power. You function by his wisdom. You are not alone. You carry something that was before the earth was created. In him. Somebody told you that ministry will fail. We don't fail, sir. No. 1 Corinthians 3 verse 9. It said we are laborers together with him. We don't fail. God is here. I'm inspired by God. How could I fail? It's not possible. Somebody say, oh, I'm finished. We don't finish. The everlasting one dwells inside you. Even if you wanted to finish, it's too late. You can't finish. God is in you. The fountains of life dwells on your inside now. You can't finish. You may be ignorant, but that doesn't change the fact you can't finish.
We want to appreciate you. Thank you for watching this powerful video by God's servant Apostle Michael Orokpo. We are happy that you have watched. In case you have not subscribed, don't forget to do so. Like, share, and subscribe. God bless you.